Welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist here. Now, before I get into giving you guys the deck list, I just want to tell you that I made this one against my better judgment, and I'm glad that I listened to my teammates on this one. Originally, when I was going to tackle this Exodia challenge or request, initially I wanted to do it with Blue Eyes White Dragon because I thought the irony would be amazing. And one of my friends was like, well, why don't you use Destiny Heroes? And then I started thinking, they've got 8 stars, so we got trade-in. They have their own draw card, Destiny Draw. They're all dark, so I can use Allures of Darkness. So my team won out, and that's what you guys get today. If you guys want to see a Blue Eyes build later, I'd be more than happy to do that at a later time. I do think between using cards of consonants and trade-ins and some other stuff, I think that we can have a lot of fun with that build. But this one works out pretty well. It's not super budget-friendly the way that I built it, but I do believe that it has enough consistency, and I'm glad that they bullied me this time. So without any further ado, let's get you guys a deck list. So first things first, if you're going to be playing Exodia, you have to have the 5 pieces. And I know I'm committing Yu-Gi-Oh! Crime right now. I didn't lay them on the mat in order to form Exodia, so lock me up, I guess. But yeah, you're going to need the 5 copies there. Next up, we're going to run 2 plasmas because there's actually some cool things we can do with this, and it'll help us build our board later. Sorry, that's the wrong card. We run 3 plasmas. I was thinking malicious for some reason. You're going to use 3 plasmas because they are your half of your 8-star lineup. And again, like I said, they can be used for just about everything. And he actually can be played to the field and has a nifty effect of being able to cancel out all your opponent's monster effects on the field. So this can help us play through some different decks. We do the same with Dogma. Technically, I never really play Dogma. He's always fodder for my spells. But you want to run triplicate there. You want to run triplicate of Drill Dark, and again, he's a great extender, which is going to help us do things. You're going to run 3 of the newer card, Draw Hand, because again, he's going to let you draw things to your hand, so got to use them. Single copy Disc Commander, and again, you could add more of this if you really wanted to, but I get a problem with this wording once per duel for his effect, so I figure, maximum effort, we'll just run the single copy. And there's the Malicious. So yeah, you run 2 of him because you can't run more. You could obviously run less, but then you don't get his effect, guys. Don't do that. Run 2, or sneak a 3rd in if your friend's okay with it. Don't do that. Play the 2, and this will help us build our boards for our link plays later. And let's just go through all the spells. So real quick, you're gonna run 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. You're gonna run 3 copies Destiny Draw. You're going to run 3 copies of Fusion Destiny because it's actually really amazing. We're going to run a single 1 Day of Peace. I'm running 3 copies Pot of Duality. I'm running my 2 copies Pot of Prosperity. Single copy Reinforcement of the Army. Remember, they're all warriors. I'm going to run 3 copies of Trade-In. And don't forget the Upstart Goblin, guys. Round this up to 40. Get as many draws in here as possible. Now, when I was looking over all the effects, and I'll go over this during the second half of the video, honestly, I feel like there's only so many ways you could do this once you use Destiny Heroes, but I feel like the effect is worth it. Let's talk about the extra deck. Part of the extra deck is fodder for Prosperity. I almost said Extravagance because I'm looking at a copy over there that way. And we didn't run that card at all today because, again, it's so inopportune. It's the only draw effect that you would be allowed in a turn, and you can't do that when you're playing Exodia. So some of this extra deck is just here because the characters look cool, but they're definitely fodder for our pot. One of those would be Dangerous. One of the cards you actually need to play is Dominance. I run 2. I put Dusktopia and Dystopia in here because they look cool. I got Exoton Knight just in case. Baguska in case you really do need to take a defensive stance for a couple of turns. Double Dagaris because again it's semi fodder. I had to, so I just doubled up. But he's got a good draw effect for us. IP Masquerena is borderline. I'm actually thinking about taking her out. The only real use I have for her is maybe trying to make Saryuja on my opponent's turn. But so far, I have not had her plus 3 other cards. So, boo to that, I guess. Single Vert Anaconda to get my fusion spell a little faster. Again, not everybody can afford this card or the Prosperities. Don't worry about it. This is just a guideline deck. You guys are free to make any changes that you guys like. I'm just playing it the way that I can. I do have 2 Saryuja Skeldred in here because, again, once we get to that last effect, when this is link summoned with 4 monsters of different names, you could draw 4 cards, then place 3 from the hand at the bottom of the deck in any order. That is a wonderful effect in this deck if you can get to resolve it. And then 2 copies, Extra Hero Cross Crusader. He's got a nice effect for us, and I'll explain that during the second half of the video. But that's going to round out the 15-card extra deck. Honestly, the cards that I don't want to banish, if I do have the opportunity to use both Pot of Prosperities, I want to keep 1 Dominance, usually Dagaris, and Cross Crusader. So, if you were just here for the deck list, I really do hope that this helped you today. And if it has, or if it's just amused you, do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Let your friends know about it. And most importantly, have a great day, my friends. I will see those of you that are just here for that, possibly on the test hands video that I'm going to do after this, or I'll see you guys on the next deck list. You guys have a good one. Everybody else, let's talk about some effects. So, Exodia is amazing because if you have all 5 pieces in your hand at once, you just win. And this is our win condition, obviously. This will be the first time that we've played an instant win on the channel, and there's not much you need to know about it. There's one thing you need to know about it. If you were doing Saryuja's effect, because of the way Exodia has to resolve, it has to resolve as the last thing. So let's say the draw 4, put 3 back. Let's say that you would have all 5 pieces in the hand, but you have to put 1 card too many back. You do not get to resolve Exodia because at the end of Saryuja's effect, Exodia is not completely in your hand. So again, like let's say you had 3 cards in your hand and they were all Exodia pieces, and you flipped up a Graceful Charity, which says draw 3, drop 2. You would draw 3. You now have 6 cards in your hand. You did complete Exodia, but you have to discard 2. You have to finish the discarding portion of the effect and resolve that effect before you can go into the Exodia effect. That's basically the only ruling you guys really need to know. And maybe if you don't run the probabilities and ratios in your head real quick before you activate Allure, don't dry activate Allure in this deck. Don't just hope for something that you can banish. Always try to do it when you do have a target that's safe to banish. So I did lose a couple games because I tried it, because I said, let's go for it. And whatever. Plasma. All you really need to know about Plasma and Dogma for the most part is 8-star Destiny Hero Dark. These guys are usually fodder. Plasma can be used by special summoning it from the hand by attributing 3 monsters that you control. Cannot be special summoned any other way. Negate the effect of all face-up effect monsters the opponent controls, and once per turn, sort of does a relinquish thing here. You target a monster they control, equip that target to this card. This card gains attack equal to half of the equipped monster's attack. Can only be equipped with 1 card at a time by this. And again, guys, it's okay, but honestly, if you go that route, you're not playing to the Exodia. So you guys need to just kind of use it as fodder. Same thing with Dogma. Again, that's 6 targets for 3 trade-ins, or 6 targets for 3 allures, or 6 targets for 3 destiny draws. It's all good. Next up will be Drill Dark, and this guy's actually a great starter. When is normal or special summoned, you can special summon 1 Destiny hero from your hand with attack less than or equal to this card's attack on the field. You can only use this effect once per turn. If this card attacks defense, you can inflict piercing. Again, I'm going to use him to build my board. I'm either going to use him as a quick way to Xyz into Dagaris, or I can link into my Cross Crusader. or there are other plays as well, one of which is coming up right now, which is draw hand. So if this is special summoned by the effect of a hero monster, like Drill Dark, you can make each player draw one card. During the next standby phase after this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this from the graveyard, banish it when it leaves the field. Again, that's going to be a hero effect. So effectively, you can get 2 draws off of it. And one thing that you could do is you can play Drill Dark to play a draw hand, get your draw. Like I said, go into Dagaris, pitch. Well, you pitch both. You perform your effect. And then again, on your next turn, draw hand is coming back. Disc Commander, again, like I said, solid one of, cannot be special summoned from the graveyard the turn it is sent to the graveyard. If this is special summoned from the graveyard, you can draw 2 cards. This effect once per duel. So again, since it's a once per duel effect and we have a very effective way of tossing him, just play the one. Don't bog the deck down with more than one. And Malicious, when this you can banish this card in your graveyard to special summon another copy from your deck. Again, this is going to help us with the link builds. Builds in a ton of consistency. So we're going to run the 3 Lures of Darkness, draw 2, banish a dark from your hand, and if you don't or you can't send all cards from your hand to the graveyard, that'll be a big oops. Destiny Draw allows you to discard 1 Destiny Hero card, draw 2 cards. Again, that's pretty awesome. Fusion Destiny, the fusion spell. I got mine out of the Mega Pack 2020. Let's talk about why this is so good. Fusion, summon a fusion monster from your extra deck that lists a Destiny Hero monster as material, using monsters from the hand or deck as fusion material. Destroy that monster during the end phase of the next turn, and for the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you cannot summon monsters except dark heroes. You may only activate 1 Fusion Destiny per turn. That's a lot to unpack, but real quick, we can send Malicious and Disc Commander and Draw Hand to play Dominance. And that's really the reason we need a Dominance. That's why this card is so good too. And just real quick, if you did all that, you'd also be able to get another Malicious to your side of the field because you'd be able to banish the one that you just dropped. And if you're able to special summon back, and I'll show you how you're going to special summon back, we'll be able to get back all 3 of those cards in one move. So again, this is just great tech. 1 Day of Peace is running double duty for you. Each player draws a card. Neither player takes damage until the end of the opponent's next turn. So what this is essentially its title here. You get 1 turn of true peace, but it's really a shield at the same time we're going after our Exodia. So it's a great card. If it was at more, we'd be running more. Pot of Duality lets us excavate the top 3 cards of our deck, add 1 to our hand, place the rest at the bottom of the deck, shuffle them back into the deck. Only activate 1 of these per turn. You can't special summon monsters during the turn that you activate this. You want to do this after you've already set up. Prosperity. Banish 3 or 6, your choice, from the extra deck face down. For the rest of the turn after this card resolves, any damage the opponent takes is halved. Doesn't matter. Exodia is an instant win. Also excavate cards equal to the number of what you just banished, adding 1 of them to your hand, the rest to the bottom of the deck in any order. Activating only 1 of these per turn, and you cannot draw cards by card effects the turn you activate this card. So again, this is one of those things like we kind of want to set up, and then once we have the majority of what we need, we wait to the next turn and then do this. And again, we'll be able to resolve Dominance and a lot of draw effects on our opponent's turn. So you can take these cards out, you can take the pot cards out and play 5 cards your choice. Again, this is something I was doing, and for me, this works. Reinforcement of the army, just add a level 4 or lower warrior. So again, if you already have Drill Dark, you can go ahead and make sure that you get Draw Hand. If you already have Draw Hand, you can go ahead and grab Drill Dark. This just makes it work a little bit better. 3 copies of Trade-In, discard a level 8 monster to draw 2, and Upstart Goblin, give your opponent 1,000 and draw 1. So that's not all terrible. Another thing you could do, again, let's just play devil's advocate for you guys real quick and say that you guys wanted to get rid of the pot cards. Because again, this does not allow you to draw cards for the remainder of the turn, which is why I was only running the 2. Another thing you could do real quick is just sub these 2 out and play in 2 diamond dudes. And then you can honestly still leave the dualities alone and just use those on a turn that you're not special summoning. Or again, you could, maybe trade these out for the diamond dudes and then put 2 more cards of your own choosing in here. Again, it could be anything. You guys could play battle faders just to make sure that you get extra board presence to build up your links. Totally easy and totally up to you guys. When it comes to the extra deck, I don't care too much about cards like this guy. He's in here just because I thought he looked cool. You can discard a card, send a Destiny Hero from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, Destiny Heroes get power until the end of the turn. Again, I'm not too into him. He was just cool looking, so I threw him in there as pot fodder. Double Dominance. This guy is amazing. So 3 Destiny Hero monsters. During the main phase, you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck or your opponent's deck. We're going to choose ours, place them back on the deck in any order, which means Pot of Duality could get us a win. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can draw a card, so that's awesome. And if this Fusion Summon card is destroyed by battle or card effect, which Destiny Destiny will do, you can target 3 level 9 or lower Destiny Hero monsters with different names in the graveyard, special summoning them back. So again, if you don't immediately banish the malicious, you can go ahead, bring him back, use him for a link play. You get the Disc Commander back, which will net you 2 cards right there, and draw hand will get you another card. So on Dominance, we can play it, get an attack in, get a card, break him during the end of our opponent's turn, and get another draw 3. And then we've already stacked our deck. We've drawn into a bit. If we don't need to do anything else and we don't need to summon back draw hand, a very cool thing that we can do at this point is we can then play that Pot of Prosperity to go ahead and start digging. Dustopia and Dystopia are both in here because, again, they just kind of look cool. I never really use them for their effects, but you can go battle if you need to. Exodia Knight, again, just kind of throws the whole field to heck. You just kind of reset the board if your opponent does something crazy and you're able to break through with this. Baguska, I use them for the defense effect here. So when this card is in face-up defense position, change all face-up monsters on the field to defense, and negate the activated effects of monsters that were in defense when their effect was activated. So for 2 turns, he will stop my opponent from playing anything in attack mode, except for links. And again, I'll be able to null out a lot of effects and be able to hold on that way. 2 copies to Garrus, again, because pot fodder. And also, we want to use the effect attach 2 materials to activate one of the following. We're going to go with the first one here. Skip your next draw to draw 2, discard 1. So, not terrible, and it might be the last push you need. IP Masquerena lets us play something on our opponent's turn. Most of the time, I ended up going to Saryuja on this. Again, I kind of missed the amount of Saryuja I needed. So this could get tossed out for something else. And since you have a Disc Commander, you guys could play Link Karibo if you wanted to. Or even a Relinquished Anima. It's all fine. Vert Anaconda is in here because, again, we can use our Fusion Destiny off of this. Because it does contain Fusion in the spell. And we can use it as an effect. So we can actually activate one through using the effect here. And we can actually just activate one as the effect of this and kind of get both of them in the same turn. So that's really what that is. Saryuja, again, if you can get to the plus, use the 4 different names to make it. When it's Link Summon, draw 4, place 3 to the bottom of the deck. And Cross Crusader, one of my favorite guys here. So if this is Link Summoned, you can target 1 Destiny Hero monster in your graveyard, draw a hand. Special summon it. You contribute 1 Destiny Hero monster to add 1 hero monster with a different name from the deck to the hand. And again, we can then tribute that draw hand that we just got back, throw him back into the discard pile to make sure that we can use his effect to bring him back by himself, while going ahead and picking up one of our bigger guys if we already have trade-in in our hand that we weren't unable to activate at the time. You can use each effect of this once per turn. You can also only special summon heroes. Yes, cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate either this card's effect except heroes. So yeah, it locks you into heroes. Sorry for getting a little tongue-tied there, a little twisted, and I do hope that you guys enjoyed the explanation here, and I can't wait to do a couple test hands. I'm not really going to go over the main effects again unless I use them during that. So I hope to get that up here relatively shortly, maybe even same day. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.